President Trump just announced on Fox News, he said, we are going to start hitting land in regard to cartels. And I want you to guess which country it's in, because he's not talking about Venezuela. But that's why this is an expat crisis, because thousands upon thousands of Americans relocate to this country specifically all the time and have been for decades upon decades. It is none other than Mexico.
If it's not one thing, it's another. I feel like day after day, you got to keep up with these news, because it's going to be something else the next day. So stay tuned to the end. Make sure you like the video. Leave your comments below. If you are in Mexico, we have to check on a couple people that is in Mexico to see how the vibe is. But even before this, we've been hearing that, Mexico, the vibe is just starting to change a little bit. Mm-hmm. So with this going on, like we said in the last videos, if you are in these countries that President Trump is coming after, the best thing for them is not coming to America. They are going to take the Americans that is in that country. So you really got to be safe. You got to be strategic in the moves that you make. You have to move or travel to the right destinations. You do not want to be caught up in this mess. You want to be set apart. You want to live abundantly. That's just what it is. You really got to be careful in times of war.
Yeah, you have to choose the right places, because again, this comes after he captured Maduro, the president of Venezuela, just within like a week or so. He's like, this worked out a little bit too well. I think we should go ahead and target the cartels in Mexico. And he literally said just today, he always does this on the weekends. You got to pay attention to signs and patterns. He does this on the weekends and says the U.S. could conduct military land strikes targeting the drug cartels. Now, wasn't that what had happened similarly in Venezuela and Nigeria, respectively? And in interviews and statements, President Trump said the U.S. forces can go in and do these ground attacks, as in hit the land, not like some kind of boat that's offshore somewhere. That's what they were doing in Venezuela leading up to the capture of the president, but literally going on to the land that is Mexico. And these remarks are shifting everything for expats in the region. Even if you're not in Mexico, you're in Panama, Colombia, Brazil, the Caribbean. People are on high alert right now, okay? So, former Venezuelan and Caribbean headlines are now talking about Mexico, Colombia, and Cuba, and we all know Greenland as well. And Trump has been moving with record speed, so this isn't the type of situation where it's like, oh, he'll say it and it won't happen. No. When he said we're going to go into Venezuela and stop the drug cartels, they did like 3 boat, maybe 5 boat operations, and then just captured the president. So you need to wonder, is he trying to capture the president of Mexico? Does he just want to take it over completely? Because again, there was a time in U.S. history where they actually kicked Mexicans that were in California out of what was then Mexico and into what is now Mexico. And so President Trump is looking at history. He's looking at what he has. He's looking at what he doesn't have. And he's like, I think I should just own that entire hemisphere.
And yeah, look. It gets down to just making America great, right? We was watching a show. I'm not sure what it was called, but it was very good. It broke down a lot of things that was, how can I put it, makes sense to Donald Trump and to America. Put it
for
like
Greenland.
That. Yeah, for Greenland. But when it's crazy how many things that we just do not know until you really do the research. But bottom line, Donald Trump is going to make America great again, because that's what he said. And you see everything that he say he's going to do. These other prime ministers and presidents, they say things, but do they act with these things? Pretty soon, I'm pretty sure we will see this when it comes to just say like Russia and North Korea and China or Iran or something. But these other smaller non-superpower countries, it might just be all talk. We just got to sit back and see. But you still have to be careful when you are traveling, when you are moving to these places.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum, is rejecting the idea of foreign military to come and assist. She's like, hey, we can have diplomatic relations, we can be close allies and all of these things and trade and have avocados going across the border. That's fantastic. But we're a sovereign nation. And Mexican officials say this is something that they think is very much unlikely because Mexico is the US's biggest trading partner. It has deep diplomatic ties and has an elected government. Analysts in Mexico say an invasion is not likely. But some Mexican voices privately say threats do create unease, even if the intervention is unlikely. I quite frankly think the intervention is not unlikely. Looking at what we have seen just in the past year, we've seen airstrikes happen to Iran, airstrikes happen to Nigeria, airstrikes happen to Venezuela, and the capture of ships around Venezuela, now a Russian oil tanker. I think 2026 is just getting started with President Trump basically taking over that side of the world. And I think he will do Mexico and Greenland simultaneously, because the adverse event would be that, maybe Russia gets too many ships down there. Maybe there's not enough trade going on that Trump likes. And so he already did the tariff war. He already did the trade war. But now he's like, that phase is over. It's a new season now. Now I'm just going to come in and take over. And he already announced the places, again, Mexico, Cuba. He says this out loud just so everybody knows. He lets everybody know. Mexico, Cuba, Greenland, and Colombia. Those are the places he is eyeing next. He's not looking at Africa. He's not looking at Western Europe. He's looking at Greenland, Cuba, Mexico, and Colombia. These are the areas that he wants. And Trump, I hate to tell you, but Trump is the type of person, he kind of gets what he wants in record time, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what he does. I'm not so familiar with Trump, but he's been around for a long time. And what you were saying, the tariffs, right? It made me think, like, at that point, the whole world changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's crazy to think about when you look back, you're like, dang, he had the big billboard. It was like, hey, these are the tariffs that we are going to do to these countries. That's when everything shifted, like, for real. So things are not going to go back to normal. As we always say, it's like, it's just going to get worse and worse. And like the things that's been said, you really got to take it into consideration. You really got to take it. Mm-hmm. You can't take it with a grain of salt anymore.
No.
You really got to listen. You really got to pray about what is coming, because it's coming and it's not going to stop. And we see what's going on. He's going to bring, okay, let me slow down. We see what's going on in America recently with the ICE agents and things like that. I believe that these people that's in America, aka ICE, they're getting ready to do something like that in other countries. Mm-hmm. So it's deep, family. It's deep. His whole goal is to make America great, and he's not stopping till that happens.
I think that's such a good insight. I think that's true because psychologically, America is a beast psychologically, maybe the best in the world, honestly, at this psychological manipulation, where the U.S. military had issues just in the past couple of years. They didn't have enough people enrolling in the military. So what do? They put out the immigration and the ICE, and now they're like, hey, I've seen this in ads that just fly across Google. We'll pay you $55,000 per year and a bonus if you become an ICE agent. You don't need much training at all. You can be just off the street. And so if you think that these aren't the same people that will also be drafted into wars and rumors of wars and to take over these places, when you see the footage of how they went in to that Russian oil tanker, understand, America is savage. Just know America is savage. Like, everybody should understand this as at a fundamental level. Technologically, even in society, Americans, out of all the countries in the world, they're probably the most armed out of any nation on planet Earth. They are the most ready to fight, to be angry, to have these tensions. And when you feel that tension in America, people, they join the military and they just get ready and they go. This is why you have all these horror stories that happen when people are abroad in Afghanistan and all these different places. They are going to continue to replicate this. And you as an expat, you have to decide, what side of history do I want to be on? Where do I want to be in the midst of all this turmoil? Because one thing we can guarantee you is that it's not going to slow down. And so you want to assess, do I want to be in Mexico? Do I want to be near Colombia? Do I want to be near Brazil? Do I want to be in Iceland? Do I want to be near Greenland? You probably don't. You probably want to descale and de-escalate yourself out of those areas and move to the global south.
De-stress.
You want to go to Southern Africa. You want to go to a Mauritius, a Botswana, possibly a Rwanda, a Madagascar. Or if you want to be in Asia, you want to go to a Sri Lanka. You want to go to places that are still humane and are not going to be affected in this chaos, because the chaos is going to hit the Western world the most. That is the target right now, because the President of the United States does not see his Western allies the way that he used to. The world wars were fought in none other than Europe. Understand that, remember that, and understand recent history. Because like you were talking about, that documentary we saw earlier, History Matters, because Denmark was actually these ancient Danish, all these pirates and Vikings that would go across the sea stealing ships and doing things of that nature. That's who owns Greenland. You need to know these things. You need to be aware of how vast the earth is and where your biggest odds of survival are. And if that resonates with you, visit www.journeywithusmovetoafrica.com. Check out the links in the description for the next day of the diaspora or the next workshops we have available, because our clients are hitting us up from Brazil, Mexico, people in Panama, all over. They're thinking, hey, Ghana, I need to head to the global south. I need to get below the equator. I need to be near the eastern side of the world, and I need to be in neutral U.S. territory.
Yeah, because it's just a split that's happening. That side of the world, this side of the world. They're just trying to get trade under control because they see what is coming. It's always a race to be the best, to be the strongest, to be the most powerfulest. So, look, it's really time to be strategic. We're going to keep saying the same thing, because it's not getting old. It's just getting, I'll say you got to renew your mind. You got to renew your plan. You got to renew the strategy that comes to you, because things are changing. You got to be ready to adjust. It's time to adjust, family. It's time to move and get ready for what is coming, because it's coming. It's not going to wait on you. The Most High is allowing this stuff to happen for a reason. Think about it. So, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave your comments below, share this video with your family to let them know, hey, look, it's time to adjust and get going. So, we appreciate you guys for watching this long, and we will talk to you in the next video.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, family.